Testing, testing. Testing, testing. Let me know in the chat or the comment section if you can hear me. I can hear myself. So I'm pretty sure that you can hear me as well. All right, let's go. Hey, Golden Child. Thank you so much for joining me. Thank you so much for watching this replay. This conversation has been going on for weeks now. I missed only 1 week in the month of February for my birthday. My birthday was February 18th. I celebrated my 34th birthday. And if you don't know who I am, I'm Jaleesa the Golden Child, and I am a single mom. I have a 5-year-old, a 4-year-old, and a 2-year-old. I am an author, a publisher, a speaker, a human design expert, a Reiki master, a energy worker, trauma and money certified professional, human design expert, a doula, a bedroom candy boutique consultant, and so much more. Hitting my goals today. Y'all, today has been a day, not a bad day. It's been a busy day. Very, very, very busy. And that is why I am late. I share them and allow people in my meetup groups to have access to join them as well. Um, but I missed yesterday's co-working session. So if you missed me, I apologize. This week has been very busy. I've had a lot to do this week. With the start of the month, I try to do my best to do the bulk of my goals, get a lot of my stuff accomplished in the beginning of the month, and kind of follow my menstrual cycle as well. So this week is a more high energy, more productive week as opposed to next week. But and that's a whole nother conversation, cycle syncing for the women's, okay? But that is enough about me. Feel free to drop in the comments, introduce yourself, let me know who you are, where you're from, and what you hope to gain from this session, what you want to bring, if it's a book that you're reading. And that is the reason why we actually have this Book Talk Tuesday. It's not just for me to come and share about the books that I'm reading, it's an opportunity for you to come and share about the books that you're reading, the insights, even the entertainment, if it's a fiction. I always get nonfiction and fiction confused. And you would think as a publisher that wouldn't be a thing, but hey. Um, but there's so much stuff going on behind the scenes. I'm in the process of relocking my hair. So very soon y'all gonna see me and my locks are gonna be redone. I'm super excited. I finally found someone to do them the way that I want them done. Um so a lot of things happening behind the scenes. So many new things. As I mentioned, I recently became a bedroom candy boutique consultant. I'm in conversations with another one of my friends about a revamping and reintroducing Purium into my business, my brand. So that's another thing. But back to why we're here for these book talks. I know y'all, I'll be all over the place. If you know anything about human design, I'm a manifesting generator. And as a manifesting generator, I don't think linear. I don't do things linearly. It's like the way that I think is A, blue, elephant, Z, triangle. Like that's literally how I think. And when I talk, it sometimes comes off as that as well. So I do my best to try to reel it in and be mindful of that. But these book talks came from last year when I started a 6-week book talk for my first book, It's All in Me, My Journey to Freedom and Living Abundantly. And during that book talk, I realized the importance of having these conversations about books to, one, hold us accountable for continuing to read. Reading is definitely fundamental. It's something that not only has been an escape for me throughout the years, but it's a form of enlightenment and encouragement. And it gives me perspective shifts that I, of course, would have had otherwise, but not as soon. So reading for me has become a tool for enlightenment. And this book, Psycho-Cybernetics, that I've been reading and sharing with you all, has been a major contributor to my growth, my perspective, and just being able to see myself in a much better light. And that was one of the reasons why I got the workbook as well. They have a workbook on Amazon. I don't have an Amazon affiliate account anymore, but I think I might soon, if it's aligned, try to reestablish it. Um, but this book talk is here for you to come and share about your books, any insights, any entertainment, any information, anything that is supporting you in any way, with the book that you're reading or the book that you have, or a book that you have read. So it's not just something that you're reading right now. Um, you can come and discuss any book that you've read that has impacted your life in any way. So, chapter 8 of Psycho-Cybernetics is entitled Ingredients of the Success Type Personality and How to Acquire Them. And I'm very intentional, or try to be very intentional with these so that I don't take up a lot of your time or mine. So I try to keep these to 30 minutes. But in this chapter, Maxwell Maltz breaks down the key personality traits and habits that contribute to a success type personality. These aren't about being perfect or fitting a mold, they're about how you see yourself and approach life. Okay, so I'm going to share the ingredients that he talked about. Um, and then I am going to share some quotes directly from the book. And then if anyone joins, or if you're here on YouTube, you can share anything. The floor will be open for you to share anything. I'll make some announcements and then we'll close out for the night. So, the first ingredient of the success type personality is sense of direction. Successful people have goals and a sense of purpose. They aren't just floating through life, they're intentional about where they want to go. Give yourself a point if you feel like you have a sense of direction. If in human design you have a G center that is defined, you have a very good sense of direction, even if it's something that you have been conditioned to believe is not true. If you tap in and tune into your inner guide, your inner workings, your sense of direction will begin to come through. And if you practice going through life knowing and being intentional about where you want to go, that strength will make itself known to you the more that you use it. Number two, understanding. They see themselves and others clearly with compassion rather than through distorted lenses of self doubt, fear, or past trauma. Again, look at your how you've been showing up. Do you um, have this ingredient? Are you understanding? Are you able to see yourself and others clearly and with compassion? I think it's easy for us to look out and give others compassion. Um, but sometimes it's harder for us to give ourselves compassion and then give ourselves the grace that we give others. And so it's important for us to be understanding of ourselves first. Um, because what we give ourselves, it'll be easier to give others. Like I said, sometimes it's easier for you to give that to other people, because that's, for me, that's all I've seen pretty much all my life. My mom gave me so much grace and compassion to others. And at some points in my life, I didn't want to even go that route because I've seen how people took advantage of her. But now I know that it's not about how other people react or respond to how I show up, or the love or the compassion or the grace that I give. It is about me doing what God called and created me to do. So, the next ingredient is courage. Success requires stepping outside of your comfort zone, being willing to make mistakes and learn from them. YouTube, y'all, this has definitely been a step outside of my comfort zone. Going live, doing videos, talking about different topics, sharing different things, sharing behind the scenes, showing up on a consistent basis, having my kids come in and out, and doing all of these different things here on YouTube, and sometimes not even seeing the results that I desire. A lot of this journey has been just a lot of releasing the outcomes and knowing that what I'm doing is what I'm supposed to be doing, and I'm planting seeds, and knowing that it's not always about the outcome or the end goal. It's about what I'm learning and how I'm growing and the courage that I have throughout the journey. Okay. So number 4 is charity. Have a generous spirit, not just with money, but with kindness, understanding, and grace for yourself and others. And that's pretty, self-explanatory. Being giving, being charitable, being generous to others as well as yourself. Number 5, esteem. A healthy self-respect that allows you to honor your worth without constantly seeking outside validation. And this one, okay, go through. Did you give yourself a point for sense of direction? Did you give yourself a point for understanding? Did you give yourself a point for courage? Did you give yourself a point for charity? Um, and I'll definitely give myself a point for all of these. Esteem. Yes, I'll give myself a point for that, but that is something that has been a newer occurrence. Knowing my worth, knowing my value, and not constantly seeking outside validation and affirmation and confirmation, like really knowing and believing that I am enough just as I am is definitely a newer occurrence, and being able to stand in that and not only say it or affirm it, but believe it and live it out loud. Okay. Number 6, self-confidence, believing in your abilities and trusting yourself even when you don't have all the answers. That was kind of what I was talking about earlier when it comes to business, when it comes to my YouTube journey, more recently, my LinkedIn journey. These are things that are outside of the norm, but I realize the more that I show up, the more that I do, the more that I um practice, and that's really what it is. Every single video, every single post, every single connection that I make, every single connect call that I do is practice, and it's built my self-confidence and trust in myself to know that I am capable of so much more than I've even been giving myself credit for. So it is definitely action, taking action and being motivated and taking those steps build your self-confidence. You're not going to build your self-confidence sitting still and just trying to affirm yourself or motivate yourself or get yourself into the mode. Really doing the thing is what is going to build your self-confidence. And number 7, I think it is. I have bullets, not numbers, and I probably should have numbered them 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yes, number 7. Self-acceptance, embracing all parts of who you are, the successes and the struggles without constantly criticizing yourself. Have radical acceptance and unconditional love for yourself. You are perfect just as you are. God did not make any mistakes when He made you. Even if you have quote unquote flaws, that's even a conditioning to believe that the things that there's something wrong with you or that you have flaws. You are perfect just the way that you are. And you are a masterpiece. And I always say that masterpieces require mess. So the messy parts, the things that you feel are flaws or the things that you feel like were mistakes, it's all a part of the masterpiece. It's all a part of the bigger picture. So you don't have to constantly shame yourself or criticize yourself or put yourself down when you have challenges or you have struggles or things don't go right or quote unquote right or the way that you had planned. It's all going to work out and you are going to be okay, even if it may not seem like it right now. So those are the 7 ingredients of the success type personality. How many points did you give yourself? How many of these can you check off and say, I actually have these ingredients when it comes to success type? And again, remembering it's not about being perfect or fit in a mold or trying to do all of these things. It's about seeing yourself in a way that is productive and supportive versus unproductive and unsupported. So even if you gave yourself half a point, that's more than nothing, because I do believe that each and every person has the capability or the capacity or potential to have these success type personality ingredients. It's just a matter of, again, going back to a lot of what we talked about. Do you see yourself as this? And if you don't believe it and you don't see yourself as that, you're not going to behave or have the habits of this success type personality. So again, it's sense of direction, understanding, courage, charity, esteem, self-confidence, and self-acceptance. And I believe I see myself as having all of these. And I do believe that I am a successful person. So cultivating a success type personality often means unlearning messages we've absorbed from society, culture, or even our family. Many of us have been taught to put everyone else first, minimizing our dreams, or doubt our right to take up space. Take up space, sis. Take up space. This chapter challenges us to step up into our light, our own light, confidently, unapologetically, and with grace for ourselves along the way. This chapter is a beautiful reminder that success isn't a destination. It's how we move through the world with intention, self respect, and belief in our worth. Okay? Absolutely love it. Let me know your thoughts on this chapter, on these ingredients, which ones you feel like you have, which ones you feel like you want to work on. Let me know, drop in the comments below. And I'm going to share some quick quotes from the book that stood out to me as I was reading. And the first one says, most of the time, the other person's reaction or position is not taken in order to make us suffer, nor to be hard headed or malicious, but because he understands and interprets the situation differently from us. He is merely responding appropriately to what, to him, seems to be the truth about the situation. A lot of times we feel like, oh, people are criticizing us or looking down on us or have an issue with us for whatever reason, but it's just a matter of them having a different perspective than we do. And that is okay. That's what makes us all different. That's what makes us all have a place and a purpose here on this earth because we have a different perspective. So try not to take things personally. Another good book to read is The Four Agreements. And one of the four agreements is I don't take anything personally. And that is something that I've taken with me. And I read this book years ago. One of the four agreements that I remember out of all of them is that one. Um, what else? This one, I love this one. You've got the resources, but you never know you've got them until you act and give them a chance to work for you. And that's what I was talking about, having self-confidence. You have everything that you need inside of you and at your fingertips in order to do the things that you desire to do and to be successful in what you desire to be successful in. It's just a matter of you acting on it and giving your resources a chance to show up for you. I've always said, even when I was in the process of writing my first book, God reminded me that if I give you the vision for something, He'll give you the provision. So remember that. Next quote: what matters is the successful attempt, which should be remembered, reinforced, and dwelt upon. Charles Cadbury, that any young man who wants to be a scientist must be willing to fail 99 times before he succeeds once and suffer no ego damage because of it. For me, I wrote a comment in this section that says, focus on the actions you've taken, not the outcomes. The success lies in the willingness to keep taking action even after many quote unquote failed attempts. This was super duper like gut punch for me because I didn't always think about me showing up, me being willing to try, me being taking action as a part of the success. And that's really what matters. Being able to show up, being able to try, being able to be willing to fail is a part of the success. If my door is locked, do not come in here. You hear me talking and recording. Please close my door. Next quote. You are somebody not because you've made $1 billion or drive the biggest car on the block or win at bridge, but because God created you in His own image. Okay, you are somebody because you were born and created to be. You were created in the image of God, source, higher power, universe, whatever you call it. Like, you are a big deal. Okay, period. And I think that was it. Yes, that was all the quotes that I wanted to share. Kept it short and sweet this week, or at least I tried to. Let me see how many minutes I've been on here. Yeah, 20 minutes. It ain't even been 30 minutes. I love it. But this one was really good, really potent. Again, let me know your thoughts on the success type ingredients. Let me know if there's any that you would add. Excuse me, if there's any that you would add. Let me know if one resonated with you more than any other and any others. But talk to me. I want to know. I want to hear from you about this and the other chapters. So feel free to go back to the other um, previous book talks that I've done on this book or even my book. Um, Let me see. What else? What else? I shared the quotes. No one is here. So, but the floor is open at this time. If you want to share about your book. But announcements this upcoming month, our topic of the month is making herstory, not history, because it's not Black History Month, Women's History Month, and that's just what I came up with as far as the topic for the month, making herstory. And we're going to be talking about leaving a legacy. We're going to be talking about showing up as our most authentic self. We're going to be talking about so many different things as to the women who have already made history and how we can make history today for the future. So join my meetup groups. We'll be talking about this, having this conversation there. Freedom Fridays will be continuing the conversation on my blog as well as my email list. We'll be continuing this conversation. So feel free to join me in any of those spaces and places. If you want to learn more about the self-publishing aspect of my business, check out my LinkedIn at Delisa the Golden Child. If you Google Delisa the Golden Child, I will come up all over on probably every single platform. Well, not every platform that I'm actually active on. Um, what else? Upcoming events this week. Of course, we have Wealth Wednesday, Thirsty Thursdays, Friday, Freedom Fridays, Saturday, Storytime Saturday After Dark, and then Sunday we have Soul Care. Soul Care Sunday is social. So a week full of empowering and impactful events. And over on LinkedIn on Wednesday, we will be doing our the indie authors playbook over there. So I'll see you tomorrow. And if nobody told you today, remember I love you, I see you, and I'm so freaking proud of you. You are doing an amazing job. Don't let anyone tell you otherwise. Okay, you are doing the best that you can with what you have, and you're only hitting a tip of the iceberg of what you're capable of, or your true potential. So continue to take it one step at a time, one day at a time, and just choose to move the needle, even if it's just 1% at a time, to do better, to get better, to be better. But just know that you're perfect as you are, and God didn't make any mistakes when He made you. You are enough. You are worthy. You are valuable because you were born that way. All right. I'll see y'all tomorrow. All right. Peace.